Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الحمد لله علي ذات عظيم صفات كبير الشان جليل القدر رفيع الذكر مطاع الأمر جليل البرهان فخيم الاسم وسيع الحلم كثير الغفران جميل الثناء جزيل العطاء مجيب الدعاء يميم الإحسان سريع الحساب شديد العقاب يليم العذاب عزيز السلطان ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن الكريم الذين ينفقون في السراء والضراء والكاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس والله يحب المحسنين. صدق الله العظيم. My respected brothers and sisters, the real beauty of any society is the tolerant behavior that society has. How much you are having this virtue of tolerance, your society and your, the areas and your household is show the glimpse of Jannah. But unfortunately, if we look at the numbers and look at the stats of last 10 years, domestic violence is increasing in Muslim households, especially the rate of divorce. And mostly, before that, I come across very few people who come to me and ask that divorce. But now, alarmingly, the number is very high. On the one side, the divorce rate is high. The other side, disrespect of parents also People are also complaining regarding their children are behaving very disrespectfully, and they even sometimes become manhandling in the houses. On the other side, if we ask the women, they say that their plight is miserable in their households. So, if we take a nutshell, what is the problem? Why we reach in that state? Why this situation is? So, the real cause we get it intolerant behavior. We do not tolerate, and we become angry very quickly. And we do those actions; those are not appropriate. We use those words; those are not appropriate. It is very sad to share with you that on very minor things, divorces are happening. And after divorce, many couples they said that they would like to live together, but when divorce happened, you can't do anything. Why you did it? We were driven by anger. We cannot control our anger. And if we look at the children, they are so yeah. There are the many other reasons we have so excited behavior because of the media. One of the also reason of media, what the media is showing your children, violence. If you look at the video games, what the video games of children are playing, mostly the violent games they are playing. If you look at the drinks, what the drinks we are, that make you just blood, your circulation flow more quick, caffeine, and we are giving our children, so they become more violent. I used to drop my younger child to school, so few days before, teacher said that your child is very calm. What is the reason? I said that he didn't use mobile. Only one reason. If you don't give the mobile to your children, nowadays what happened? Even 2 years, 3 years child is using mobile and using those applications. Those excite your feelings. On top of that, economic pressure, injustice, joblessness. These are all the pressures a person has. And every person now is in a pressure cooker. So when there is no flow of pressure, so it one day it becomes bang, and the whole house is disturbed by that. Unfortunately, many Muslim women they are single mom, and unfortunately, we have many broken families, and we are worried about the future of the children because in broken families, children are not mentally stable. They incline towards drugs, and this is also increasing the drug rate in Muslim society. It is the result of the broken families. They don't have a peace in their houses. They don't find any love, affection. Where they're gonna go? If I have my father, I don't have my mother. I don't have my sibling. Where I gonna go? So then I find some shelters, and now the drugs is the best way, or I've become using the internet and hooked by the different, the sexual predators. So these are the very, painful situation. If we look at that, yes, we cannot. We do some remedies by ourselves. Like I told you that if we, you know, think about the situation and how can we give the best tarbiyah of our children. How can it is a painful, it is a difficult to give the best tarbiyah of your children. It is not an easy. Like for madrasa, some parents they drop their children and then they come here to pick them up again. It is a service. It is a difficult thing. But there is no other way. If we think our own comfort, our own jobs, I'm so much, involved in my job. I'm so much involved in my, earning circle. I don't care about it. So eventually, what happened in my house? The situation becomes worse and worse every day. So what we're gonna do? We have to perform our responsibilities, and on top of that, controlling our temper. Controlling our temper. How we control our temper? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam advised many advices to Ummah to control their temper regarding anger. But I would like to discuss few things as well that will help you, and if you could follow these one. First of all, if we look at that, this virtue of forgiveness is a great, great virtue in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are not ready to forgive. Now, on a very small mistake, we are not ready to forgive. If you don't forgive others, then it is very difficult. It is very difficult to have an amicable relations. You have to have. Sometimes when I talk about the families, they say that that was a mistake and that make me angry. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, your children and your wives and children, aduwwul lakum, they are enemies. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu inna min azwajikum wa auladikum adu fahzaru wa in ta'fu wa tasfahu wa taghfiru fa inna Allah ghafurur rahim. So among your children and wives, some are your enemies. What? How they are enemies? This ayah of Surah At-Taghabun was revealed uh, under certain circumstances regarding one of the Sahabi Rasul whose family was left behind in Makkah, and that gave him a hard time, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed that verse. But generally, if we apply these verses, you know what happened? They are not doing, our children, they are making those wishes and desires. I can't make it in halal money and other things that repel us, or those things, those are not. So they are doing those actions. So what happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, be careful about that. And what you're gonna do? فَحْذَرُوا أَن تَعْفُوا وَتَصْفَحُوا وَتَغْفِرُوا. Not only be careful about their activities, what you're gonna do? You pardon them and overlook them and forgive them. So if you make your big heart and if you pardon, you will overlook the situation. This is a small situation happen in a house, and we start digging the more, and eventually what we try to satisfy my own self, my esteem. Okay, I I would like to clarify the point. Now my wife is at fault, so this is an ego issues. So instead of doing this one, if we overlook the situation and instead of humiliate the other person, we forgive the other person. So what happened? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most forgiving and merciful. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy will come our houses. But we will play our own part. Often people, when they talk about, I ask that, okay, your father is behaving like that, your mother is behaving like that, this is their behavior. Are you responsible on the day of Qiyamah about their behavior? No. Are you responsible about if your wife is doing something wrong against you? No. She will be responsible. So responsible to whom? About your action. It is not any jawaz. It is not any excuse. If my father is not behaving me well, so I'm misbehaving to my father. It is not an excuse. It is not an excuse. I cut my relations to my children. Okay, they are not good to me. So that is why I'm not good to them. It is not an excuse. I have to look at my duties, my responsibilities. And if I'm doing it, my responsibilities, to whom, for what reason I'm doing it? I'm doing it for earning fame or for winning the heart of my children or make my assets when I become old. They earn and they give money. These are all the wrong reasons. If I have this reason in my heart, I do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tomorrow, if my children will look at me or not, it is their behavior. So I can do it and I will not become tired in their service. What happened nowadays? Everybody is complaining the behavior of others. And we should not look at our own responsibility. What is my duty and what the duty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put on my shoulder? And how can I dispense this duty? And if, believe me, if we don't forget about the others, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prays, يطعمون الطعام على حبه مسكينا ويتيما واسيرا إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. They feed them for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They say, we don't need any jaza from you. Mostly parents, they are complaining, look at that, I have given the fees of my uni or to my child, and this one, and even he not say salam to me. This is his behavior. You are doing for the sake of Allah. Believe me, when you start doing for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so what happened? Automatically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put respect, love, affection in his heart. Who controls the heart of other people? Who? Who is the controller of heart? Ya muqallibul qulub, sabbit qalbi. Who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding and wisdom. وقال ربكم ادعوني استجب لكم ان الذين يستكبرون عن عبادتي سيدخلون جهنم داخرين. بارك الله لنا ولكم في القرآن العظيم ونفعنا وإياكم بالآيات والذكر الحكيم. استغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله. My brothers and sisters, on any situation, any unpleasant situation, the responses of the people are different. For example, if your wife put more salt in curry, the responses are different for different people. So who gives the best response according to the Sharia and according to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah says in Quran, Ma asaba min musibatin illa bi'idhnillah. Nothing comes to you bad. Nothing comes to you. No atrocities. No bad thing comes to you. Except with the command of Allah, izn of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَنْ يُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ يَهْدِ قَلْبَهُ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide the heart of a faithful believer. That is the big thing. Connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't have iman, if you don't have fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so you've been driven by your emotions, your desires. And if you have iman, you have more tawakkul upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your responses are very different. And you can see that. Any loss comes to any pious person whose behavior is very different. Any loss comes to any other person who is in dunya, whose behavior is very different. And you know what happened? The miseries and the problems, mostly those are self-created. Because we take it so serious. If we don't take it so serious, Every person who lives in here in this dunya, he has to face good days and bad days. But awliya, those who are the friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because they have a lots of tawakkul upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then their responses are very different upon the different things. I haven't seen in my shayukh any shaykh becomes angry on upon any worldly things to his family. They look over. Yes, they show their anger regarding any Sharia issues. Even if the children are not doing salah or delay salah, that is the alarming thing. But other than that, the issues we are having it, they don't care about it. Overlook them. Because they have so much faith, iman, tawakkul upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the second thing was very important, that is connected with your anger. This is the big issue. That is an ego. Your takabbur, arrogance. The person who is more arrogant, he becomes more angry, becomes very quickly angry. The person who is more submissive, the person who is more ajiz, the person who is more humble, he becomes less angry. You can see that the people who are fighting, because the arrogant person, he never wants to listen no, want to listen to anybody refute, anybody say anything to him, any problem or any humiliation he cannot bear. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells about those people, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. The servants of the most merciful, when they walk on the face of earth, they walk easily, they walk in a humble manner. And when those ignorant people, they talk harshly to them, they say word of peace to them. Who? Those who are humble people. Believe me, if you make this humbleness in yourself and you break your ego, your 90% anger will go. Anger issue is directly linked with our ego. Who say to me, you ask to me, I see you, how dare to ask me? These are everything me. And if you think about that, if you break this me, then you become humble. And here in this verse, some scholars, they are of the opinion, they say word of peace means instead of you retaliate, they're harsh, they are talking to you harsh, but you speak gently with them. You speak gently with them. You forget about how he is speaking like that. You speak gently with them. Or other words, you avoid them. Another interpretation is that to avoid those people, those who try to make you angry, those who are using those bad language against you. So what you gonna do? To leave the situation, not to engage with the dialogue with those people. خذ العفو وأمر بالعرف وأعرض عن الجاهلين. Another verse of Quran, Allah says, وأعرض عن الجاهلين. What you gonna do? Avoid those people. Avoid those people, leave them, and not to engage with them with talk. But the important thing here in this verse is regarding your me. If you break your me, then there is when I read this verse, narration regarding this verse, الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. As Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, one of the servant, she cooked the food and she passed by Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and she tripped, and food, the hot curry fell on Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And Hassan radiallahu ta'ala gave an anger look to her. So then she recited this verse. Those people who spend in ease and in difficult time. Those virtuous people, those who spend in ease and difficult time, وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ, and they control their anger. Prophet ﷺ says that the best wrestler is not the person who can knock the other person down. He is not a best wrestler. He is not having such might. Mightful person is that who controls his anger. Your inner self, your ego, if you control that one, that is you are a wrestler, real wrestler. Control. When she says that, Al Hassan anhu, his face, become pleasant. وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. Then she recites, وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. And Al Hassan, okay, leave it, take it, bow. And then she says that, Allah yuhibbul muhsinin. What you're going to do, you go one step ahead. The other person is doing bad with you, and you are doing good to other person. So how is the situation? It is only the person can do that who has a real iman in his heart. Who has a real iman in his heart. Believe. And when she recites this one, the Hassan says that, now I let you free. For the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Give me a lesson. This is a lesson here in this verse. A lesson for us as well. If we make our heart big, we can avoid many issues that we are facing nowadays in our houses, in our society, because in the segmentation in society is also very quickly, because we are segmentized on the name of races and the colors, and instead of our shanakht, our identity is a Muslim, our identity is the different races, different origin. No. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding and wisdom. Inna Allah ya'muru bil 'adli wal ihsani wa ita'i dhil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkari wal baghi ya'izukum la'allakum tadhakkarun fadhkuruni adhkurkum washkuru li wa la takfurun. Aqimus salat.
Brother and sister, just to request you kindly, please take note. The newcomer in the masjid, you can't let him. The brothers who are regular and sisters regular, you should make your way to the front line first, please. All the way front line, left right, left right, left right, and we don't waste time asking you to go forward. When you come in, please, this is a very typical shape of the masjid. You enter the middle of the masjid. So please, you just make your mind where you go sit and you block everybody else. Please.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. وإذا رأوا تجارة أو لهوا انفضوا إليها وتركوك قائما قل ما عند الله خير من اللهو ومن التجارة والله خير الرازقين. الله. سمع الله لمن حمده.
ربنا ولك الحمد.
الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. الله
الله.
سمع الله لمن حمده.
ربنا ولك الحمد.
الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله. اللهم أنت السلام أنت السلام تبارك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم اغفر أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وارحم على أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وتجاوز جميع سيئات أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وصلى الله تعالى على آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمته يا أرحم الراحمين.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Just to remind you, please make a note. 23rd of October, next Sunday, 5 o'clock is public meeting, AGM, the goal public meeting, special meeting. You come along and find out how the bus is running for the last many years. And if you think it's running fine, you still come in, please. If you think you can improve it, still come in, because you have a right to give you a view and to give you a view to us.